sure you don't leave anything useful behind. I have some spare components if you need them.
Hey,
You showed up just in the nick of time.
you looking for a new place to settle?
Could be. Why, do you know somewhere good?
What are you looking for?
I just want to find someplace safe to live without these assholes trying to kill me all the time. Why? Do you know of a good place?
I sure do.
Thanks. I'll see you there in a day or two.
I just want to trade a few things.
Of course.
Hey,
How may I be of service?
over here.
I'll get it done.
Here you go, Ada. One slightly dented, but still functional radar beacon.
This will do nicely. And, with any luck, it'll help us trace the Mechanist's signal.
Remind me how this beacon will get us closer to tracing the Mechanist's signal?
Each RoboBrain's radar beacon has unique encryption so that it can't be traced back to the source. However, acquiring 2 additional beacons should provide me with enough data to break the code. So if my theory is correct, this beacon will help us trace the Mechanist's signal.
I hope getting it was worth the trouble.
I'm sorry if retrieving the component caused you any harm. I'm going to begin my decryption routine, but it could take a while. In the meantime, I've picked up another RoboBrain beacon signal. It should be the last one you'll need to collect.
Let me guess. This is going to involve a lot of walking.
Your astuteness is impressive. If my calculations are correct, the signal is coming from... Oh, this isn't good. Location confirmed. The RoboBrain is at Fort Hagen Satellite Array, which means it's in the hands of the Rust Devils.
Doesn't sound like anything a little lemon juice and some steel wool couldn't fix.
It's going to take something a bit stronger to overcome these foes. My old caravan encountered them once while crossing the river into the city. The Rust Devils are a group of ruthless raiders who utilize robots for their nefarious practices. They scour the Commonwealth looking for my kind. What they can't capture and reprogram, they strip for spare parts. I realize they pose a greater threat to me than you. I just want you to be well informed. That being said, despite what lies ahead, I can easily continue to decrypt the signal as we proceed. So shall we be on our way?
Hey,
What can I do for you?
hey,
I'd be happy to help if I... These are for you.
hey,
Yes.
heads up.
Yes, ma'am. What did you need?
I'd like to activate your self-destruct system.
No, I can't. I'm fairly certain that my original creator had grander plans for me other than becoming a pile of debris. I'm not certain you're aware of this, but robots were never meant to swim. Never fear, ma'am. I will ensure your safety to the best of my ability. Picking up something. My apologies. I found you. Riddance. Did you hear that?
Hey.
Sure. Go ahead and take a look. My ride counter is spiking. We may want to move.
Hey.
Hope you find what you're looking for.
Who's there?
Enemies over here. Here, over here. Are you injured, ma'am?
Where'd the little bitch go? Did you hear that?
Won't be able to pick this.
That's it.
Lock's really...
wants me to find out what makes you tick. So let's get started.
There's no need for that. I'm certain we can discuss this rather unfortunate situation before it gets completely out of hand. Now, what exactly did this Ivy tell you to do?
Simple. She wants me to crack open that dome you have for a head and find out how your brain is connected to your circuits.
Perhaps I can be of assistance in that regard. After all, there isn't much else I can do now that you've removed my head from its chassis. How about we forge some sort of an accord, just between the two of us?
What the hell is an accord? You talking about wires or something?
Right. I need to phrase this so even a dullard like you would understand. Let me put it this way. You need information that's going to make your boss happy. I want to keep my brain in one piece. Maybe we can cut a deal.
Fine. I'm listening.
I'll tell you everything I know about my own construction. All the bits that Ivy wants to hear. And I promise you, she won't be disappointed. In return, you keep those tools away from me and put me back onto my body. You get what you want, and I don't get dissected like some kind of a laboratory experiment. Do we have a deal?
Well, that would save me a lot of time. And Ivy doesn't like waiting. Tell you what, you start talking, and I'll stop drilling. After I tell Ivy everything, we'll see how happy she really gets. But I think I'm gonna leave your head in that machine for now, just in case you decide to get any smart ideas. How's that for a deal?
I suppose it will have to suffice. I mean, yeah, it's a deal.
Hey,
What can I do for you?
go check that out.
Certainly. Lost, but not forgotten.
Order everything.
Hang in there, man.
You don't look like one of the Rust Devils. What are you doing here?
What did the Rust Devils do to you?
They felt that by keeping my head online would prove useful to them. Fortunately for me, they're stupid enough to actually believe anything I say. Admittedly, it hasn't gotten me very far, but it has saved me from the same fate as my rather unfortunate comrades you see in pieces around you. Now, back to my original question. What are you doing here?
Maybe I'm just a Rust Devil wearing a clever disguise.
Please, don't insult my intelligence. Why don't you just tell me why you're here, and why we're even bothering to have this conversation?
Hunting down a radar beacon.
A radar beacon? How very interesting. That's a very specific part to be searching for, and you don't look like the typical part scavenger type to me. I calculate a 98.8% chance that you're looking for the Mechanist. If I'm correct, and I usually am, then perhaps we can help each other with our respective predicaments.
I'm listening.
How refreshing. Then allow me to explain. Now, how can I put this as simple as possible so someone at your processing speed can understand? In order to find the Mechanist, you're going to need more than just my radar beacon. You're going to need access to the facility. I'm willing to provide said access, but you'll have to fulfill 2 simple conditions. 1, you need to get me as far away as you can from these lunatics. And 2, find me a new body. Once both conditions are satisfied, I'll gladly provide you with everything you need. Do we have a deal?
How do I know you'll keep up your end of the bargain?
Even though there's a human brain floating in a biogel inside my head, I'm still bound by my original programming. It pains me to admit it, but one of my directives states that I cannot lie. Ever. So, while I'm not the most charming robot you've ever encountered, the last thing I'm going to do is violate an agreement we've made. Now that we have that out of the way, do we have a deal?
Deal.
A wise decision. Once we're at our destination, I'll happily relinquish my radar beacon as a gesture of good faith. Now, I strongly suggest you stop loitering in the middle of a hostile location and get us both out of here at once. Watch the tripwires. I'd rather keep myself intact today, thank you.
Sweet.
Intruder. Identify your... Alarm. Standing down.
You really are taking the path of most resistance here, aren't you?
Unidentified intruder. Beginning search.
No, ma'am. No more hiding. After all. We may have some trouble.
Law-abiding citizen.
Find anything useful? Found a target again.
Don't you die on me!
We'll emerge victorious.
Put down your weapon and submit to authority.
Yes, ma'am.
Deadly report is in progress.
We may have an enemy nearby. That was amusingly simple. I'd be happy to help if I can.
Hey, let's go.
I'll take care of it.
Based on my limited experience with you, I estimate a 65% chance of making it out of here. Not optimal. An increase in effort could have an impact on the odds. This is the one that ripped my head off. I demand we rip her head off. It's only fair.
Hey, stay there.
How may I be of service?
Heads up, come on.
I'll get it done.
Had I a body, I would have killed her myself. Oh well. 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Good job, human.
Perfect. Heads up.
Let's take a look at what you've got.
Don't think I can pick this.
Make sure you don't leave anything useful behind.
Look alive.
Glad to be of service.
Thank goodness we are out of that hole. Don't think your job is done. I refuse to cooperate until you provide a body that meets my standards.
Look alive.
Yes.
Here you go, Ada. The final radar beacon. I'll need that head back when you're done.
Of course. Shouldn't take but a moment. There you go. Still in one piece. I'm not sure why you want the head back. All we needed was its radar beacon. Besides, robo-brains are notorious for being, well, a real pain in the neck.
What else do you know about them, Ada?
Quite simply, it's the first time General Atomics produced a successful union between organic matter and robotics. The brain is used both as a control unit and a data storage unit, which is far more efficient than using standard circuits. Unfortunately, There were a lot of programming issues with these robots, which caused them to be a bit, shall we say, unhinged. Hopefully, this particular robo-brain will have some of the answers that we've been seeking.
A union of organic matter and robotics? Sounds an awful lot like a synth.
Not at all. The robo-brain was built with a very different design philosophy in mind. General Atomic's intent was to use the human brain to augment the robot's functions, primarily to accelerate the decision-making process. Free thought and individuality was never intended. These were expressly built like soldiers, to follow orders without question. The robo-brain's unfortunate tendency towards violence and aggression should be considered more of a malfunction than a calculated decision.
Now that you have the final radar beacon, will it be enough to track down the Mechanist's location?
I certainly hope so. I've already started the calculations while we've been having this conversation. That still doesn't explain why you need that head back.
We don't have a choice. It claims we need it to access the Mechanist's facility.
How foolish of me. It makes perfect sense that the Mechanist would not only keep its location a closely guarded secret, but would secure it against intrusion as well. I'm terribly sorry. I hadn't considered that possibility at all. I'm afraid when it comes to assisting humans, I'm not doing very well lately.
Why would you say something like that?
Isn't it obvious? Ever since I let my friends die in that caravan, I feel like I've been failing in my duties. I chose the route we took the day we were attacked. Perhaps if I'd selected an alternate route, they'd still be alive. Sometimes I wish that Jackson had programmed me with my personality mode set permanently to disabled.
Your personality mode? What do you mean?
Most robots have a personality mode select available to them for their creator to utilize. Turn it on, and we're designed to talk and act more like a human. Turn it off, and we're no better than a mindless automaton. Jackson said he didn't think of me as a servitor robot. He treated me more like a friend. So he permanently set my personality mode to on. He said I should never lose my identity. I suppose I'm starting to think he was wrong.
Your personality defines you as an individual. Never let that go.
You're right. All of the good memories I've experienced being Ada would be lost if my personality mode was shut down. I can't afford to lose them. I really think I needed to hear that from someone else. Thank you. Now I've distracted you for long enough. I'll finish up my calculations while you deal with our new friend, Jezebel. Hopefully, she'll be able to grant us access to the Mechanist's facility, and we can put an end to this nonsense once and for all.
Interesting.
Find one of these at the
This body you've selected for me isn't quite what I had envisioned, but it will have to suffice.
So sorry, Your Highness. The Royal Tailor has been quite ill, and I'm afraid the task fell to me instead.
If you're attempting to use sarcasm as an intimidation tactic, I'm afraid you're wasting your time. Look, it's obvious we don't care for each other's company, which suits me just fine. So, why don't you ask me everything you wanted to know, and then I'll be on my way.
Why did General Atomics make you so uncooperative?
I haven't the faintest idea of what you're talking about. I am a top-of-the-line model, with an efficiency rating that makes Mr. Handy look like a glorified toaster oven. When given a set of instructions, I will complete them without question, and without error. Now, were there any other ridiculous questions you wanted to ask?
Tell me everything you know about the Mechanist.
Now there's a fascinating subject. The Mechanist. Amazingly adept at programming. A veritable genius with electronics. I'm not surprised you're interested. I've been dutifully carrying out the Mechanist's instructions to help the people of the Commonwealth for quite a long time.
I find that very hard to believe.
I can't imagine why. It's actually quite simple. The Mechanist instructed me to seek out and help the people of the Commonwealth. By my calculations, the easiest way to help a human is simply to destroy it. There's no point in prolonging a laughably fragile life. It's the most efficient way to assist them. Any other effort to help tends to result in numerous complex side effects.
You don't help people by killing them. That's insane.
On the contrary, assisting a human to the best of my abilities only affords a 25% survival rate. That means there's a 75% chance that despite my efforts, the human I'm assisting will die from something beyond my control. Therefore, it's better to hasten the human's death and put them out of their likely chance of misery than to deplete my limited time. It's actually quite elementary, but given your minimal intellect, I suppose I shouldn't be surprised you don't understand.
And you're going to be a brain pate if you don't tell me how to access the Mechanist facility.
There's no need to be rude. It's rather simple, really. In order to gain entry to the Mechanist facility, you're going to need to outfit one of your robots with an MSAT modification. I'll upload the plans to your Pip-Boy device. There. I've fulfilled my portion of our agreement. Perhaps I'll remain here for a while and see how things resolve between yourself and the Mechanist. Purely for my own amusement, of course. I suspect you'll have quite a tale to tell once you return. But then again, I'd be surprised if you ever return at all.
Anything I can do? You just say the word.
Haven't you already interfered enough? Go away. At least now I'll have time to work on my pi to the last digit calculation. I expect you'll be leaving me behind. Typical.